guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Switching back and forth podcast. I don't even like it's been so long, I think I forgot how to do the intro. I have to go back
Yeah,
and listen
it's
to it.
it's been a while, and I think the last one we did record got deleted by Podcastle.
Yes.
So it's been
Yes,
a
and it was
while.
an
It's
absolute banger. Banger
it's
podcast.
it's been over a month, and I think we both took vacations, which is
Um
which is why you haven't heard from us.
I don't know if a vacation is what I would call. I'm not saying it's a bad thing,
Did you
but
take
it's
time
definitely
off
not a
work?
vacation. Yes, I did.
Vacation.
Okay. One of us was in New Zealand
Yeah,
and one of us had a child.
yeah. Two pretty big things. I would say, obviously, having a kid is pretty substantial. Uh, but I only know like two or three people that have vacationed in New Zealand, so it's actually a little more rare than what you did. I know a lot of people who've had kids.
I mean, I'm not acting like it's anything special. I'm just very tired.
Do you want to give the blanket answer? How is it? How is it having kids?
Um,
A kid.
like what part do you want to just overall?
Yeah, I think you're
I
supposed
feel
to
like
say
there's a
like,
lot of parts. There's a lot of moving parts to this.
yeah. Well, what you're supposed to say is best thing that's ever happened to me. But then you're also supposed to say it's really hard and that it's awful, but also it's the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, yes to most of those things. It really isn't that bad. Which like I know people are gonna listen to this that have kids, have had kids, whatever, same experience as me, and think that I'm an asshole or um, like I'm a bad parent. I don't know. Whatever. Like if you didn't experience exactly what I'm experiencing, like you're gonna think I'm some type of scumbag. Um, but man, I think I'm killing this parenting thing. Like, is it? I don't know if our baby is just we got a good baby, you know, like top tier baby. But honestly,
You made it.
besides the lack of sleep, which is like not really his fault because he's like eating every like hour and a half to 3 hours. Like he's growing. Like that's like the only thing that kind of sucks. I mean, like he's like not really fussy. He doesn't really cry. He just gets mad and he like fucking yells at you. He turns all red, which definitely is from my side of the family. I'm a pretty chill guy, but as you can tell with the what I'm wearing today. Um, but yeah, man, he just like gets mad. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
It's been easy.
the other night he slept for like 8 hours. Like he got more sleep than I did. That's insane. How's that even possible? Like in the same night. Um, and then like the following night, which is last night, he was up at he got me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but he didn't really get up. Like beers, babies do this weird thing called active sleep. Do you know what this is?
No, I know very little about babies.
Okay, you should. Well, you're married to a medical professional.
Yeah, but
You
she's
just
not a
never
baby
just talk
doctor.
about babies. I mean, she knows about babies
I mean,
though.
she does. I don't know if we don't have a kid. Why would I know about babies? If
You
I
guys
knew
don't. You guys don't like talk about like
if if I knew like a lot about baby behavior, that would be a giant red flag for me.
which part. Which
Like
which part of you would be a red flag?
knowing a lot about babies.
But
Yeah, how much of this
has
did
to be
you
a
know
combination.
before?
What are you hinting at? Is like I can give you suggestions, but I'm curious to know like
I,
what could associate you with knowing a lot of baby knowledge with it being problematic.
I'm thinking somewhere in like the Super Bowl halftime show is weighing on me. So I'm thinking somewhere along that line. Uh,
A minor?
yeah,
Okay.
So yeah, I
Uh,
just did you know any of this stuff before 10 months ago?
uh,
Probably
I
not.
mean, listen, I can openly talk about this because my wife and I've already had this conversation because I'm pretty transparent. But like, I really didn't do much preparation, and like, I added like maybe a book to my Amazon cart and put it in my saved cart. Pretty sure it's still there.
I'll buy it
Never
for you.
ended up purchasing that. I try to listen to some like dad podcasts, and yeah, couldn't do that. That was just painful. Um, man, I'm trying to think of what else. We took one parenting class. It was like virtual, put on by the hospital. Um, yeah, complete waste of time. It was all just like very basic knowledge that I feel like anyone who's had to keep anything alive should know. Um,
No, you'd be surprised.
no, no, no. I listen. I hear you.
My
Like,
my mom worked in mother baby for like 20 years.
yeah,
Apparently, a big thing that happens is like people have babies and then they're just like, we'll take them home now. And they're like, do you have a car seat? And they're just like, why would I need that?
exactly. I mean, listen. There's no like test you have to pass to become a parent,
Yeah.
which some people think is a problem and some people don't think it's a problem. I mean, I don't look at it as a problem, but the way I look at it is like, you know, I might be a degenerate, but like I feel pretty confident in my abilities to like keep something alive and like love it and do all the opposite things that my parents did. Um, and then like I've seen other, other people raise their kids. And like, hey, no judgment, man. Not my kids until they step on my lawn. That's not my problem. Um, I was like, yeah. I told her, I was like, yeah. I think we'll be okay. You know,
Yeah.
the crazy thing is like she has like an animal care background, and like people get weird about this, but like I'm sorry, humans are animals. Like,
Yeah.
and that,
Especially a
in that
baby is
stage
just an
of
animal.
life, yes, at that
I,
stage of
I,
life, and like she took care of mammals,
yeah.
and we are a mammal. She took care of primates. We are. Aren't we a primate? I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know that.
we're ape adjacent.
Some people might
I think.
argue that we're all God's children, actually. Um, but yeah, like, and the weird thing is, it's like, we've been like together for 8 years, and like she's of course like told me every story, and like we watch, like, I don't know, it's just like we've kind of like passively kind of learned, how to keep a baby alive, and I feel like some people this is the point I guess I'm trying to make. Some people will argue with me that like this is the hardest part of parenting, but I feel like remembering me and like how I grew up, I feel like keeping a baby alive is probably the easiest thing you can do, and then like making sure it's a well-adjusted good baby is probably the hardest thing that you can do, and that's like way longer than the baby phase.
Yeah. I think right now is the most annoying phase. How about that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just patient. Like, yeah, sometimes it's like, yeah, 100%. Very frustrating when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and you literally haven't slept and you just fed him, changed his diaper, you're like rocking him to sleep, and like he just like won't go to sleep. He's just like, hey, I mean, and like, I guess, yeah, the way it's like it's annoying, but like I can't be like annoyed at him. Like, what does he know? He doesn't know
Yeah.
anything. Like, just like I guess like in the moment, like you just have to rationalize that like it's not the baby's fault, it's not anyone's fault. It's just like this is how life happens. Like this is how you got here. So someone had to do it, so it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know if it's how everyone got here. I don't believe I was born, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay. You gonna talk
So,
about your New Zealand trip?
uh, yeah, are you done with your kid? I'm happy everything's going well. That's good. So
Yeah.
it's been a month, right?
Yeah, he's 5 weeks. Don't dox him, please. We're trying to limit how much social media he exposure he gets. As in, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
If it was up to my wife, he would be plastered everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
and like, I'm
I'm
starting to
probably
think a
good.
lot of things I'm saying, and if people look at the way I look right now, like, I mean, I'm already on the watch list. Like, this is gonna. I mean, probably not gonna be a
That's
good look once I first uploaded.
that's a good point. Um, yeah. Well, the good part about social media is it's going in the right direction, right?
This is nuts. There's so much to talk about. Like, I don't even know like
Oh.
how we're gonna stay on topic.
Yeah, New Zealand. New Zealand was a ton of fun. Flights weren't bad. Got there. Are you a big Lord of the Rings guy? Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
I think I've seen all of the movies. Yes.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where everywhere you go, it's just like, oh, that looks like that place, and then you look it up, and it's like, oh, part of it was filmed there, and everywhere is like the most beautiful place you've ever been to. Uh,
Yeah.
really cool. Got to do a lot of really cool stuff. I know I sent you some pictures, posted some. I did go to the Shire. I don't know if I sent you any of those, but I dressed up like a hobbit and went to the Shire.
Can you explain
Yeah,
what
so the Shire, they actually built that, and it's inside of a working sheep farm, and they do tours.
okay? The Shire is like that little Hobbit house, right?
Yeah, it's where the hobbits live.
Okay.
I'll send you the picture, but yeah, we did that. Did some mud pools, all kinds of
No,
shit.
no, no. Hold on, hold on. What do you mean you dressed up like a Hobbit?
I'll send you a
How you
picture.
gonna just glaze all over that part? That was the part I was laughing about.
I'll send it to you right now.
Well, describe
It's,
it.
I dressed up like a hobbit, wore a cloak. When you get to go inside some of the hobbit holes. I took my shoes off, which other people seem to think was gross.
And you naturally have hairy feet.
Yeah.
Do you mean your wife?
What?
The gross part. You mean your wife?
Uh, she didn't make a comment. I got some other looks from some other people. Um, it makes sense that you're close to Asia. There's a lot of Asian tourists there,
Yeah.
and they didn't seem to like it. Um, but hey, when in Rome,
I mean, it's a respect thing for them. It's
is it? I don't know.
actually, I thought they don't like shoes in the house. So wouldn't they want to walk around barefoot?
Yeah, I think it's just a little gross. But like they're also like wearing masks still.
I mean, they were wearing masks before
Yeah,
COVID. I
no.
don't know if you,
But yeah, it was tons of fun. Ended up just staying in like a beach town for the last like 5 nights. Already want to go back. Bunch of other stuff we want to do. And depending on how things go, maybe move there. You never know. It
is that a real thing? You announcing that?
No, there's nothing
Isn't it hard to
nothing
get
imminent.
citizenship there?
What?
Isn't it hard to get citizenship there?
Uh, Not if your spouse has a job that's in high demand because they have like an extreme
She's
shortage.
a
Yeah. Um,
doctor. That's awesome. You should do it, man.
it- Part of me kind of wants to, but it would also be a huge pain in the ass. But it'd be fun to live there for a little bit. And the time change is weird because you're
It's like a
actually not
day.
that
Isn't it like
far.
a day? Isn't it like a day ahead?
So from where I am on the West Coast, it's a 21-hour difference, but that's really just it's basically just like flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, but there's a day in between. So like when it was 9 a.m. there on a
Yeah.
Friday, it was noon on a Thursday where we were.
Okay, so 3 hour, well,
Yeah.
almost
So,
just a 3 hour
but
difference.
yeah, it was just a day, and then I almost had a literal Groundhog Day.
Okay.
I flew. We left New Zealand at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and we landed at 6 a.m. on Saturday, February 1st. So again, almost a literal Groundhog Day.
I thought you were gonna say you landed at 3 p.m. Saturday, because that would have been a way better story.
We
You took off
landed
at 3 p.m. Saturday, and then you landed at 3 p.m. Saturday.
no, but
That's a
we landed at 6 a.m. Saturday.
I know, but I'm saying
Yeah, I
if you
guess,
really just said
but that's even
that's a way.
more. I did Saturday, uh, February 1st. Like I did it twice. My watch was very confused as to how many
Listen,
steps I
the
did that
flat
day.
earthers right now are very confused on what you're saying.
I know.
You gotta
Did you
like,
know? Did you know that? So it makes sense, but the sky, like the night sky, is upside down and backwards.
what?
Yeah. So you're looking at all the constellations and everything
Okay.
from a totally different. So the moon waxes
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
wanes
yeah.
on
Okay.
the other
Yes.
side.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Yes. Yeah.
Orion looked like he was going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Saw the Southern Cross. The last place we were staying, we could see the Milky Way.
What is that called? Is that parallax?
I don't know. It's odd though.
Didn't you take AP Physics?
Yeah, I did. I passed the
Jesus.
exam. That's all I needed.
Yeah. You kids, AP Physics, school, terrible for you. You don't learn
But
shit.
I passed. That's all that's important, and I'm back. I did get to ignore everything that was going on in the country for 2.5 weeks, so that was good.
Yeah, you chose a hell of a time to just
Well,
leave.
it wasn't on accident.
Wait, are you serious? You guys really planned out that way?
We were gonna do it in January, and like we were looking at the dates, and we were like, oh yeah, let's just do it during that time.
Huh.
Yeah, we gave this New Zealand little family a ride back to their car at one point, and they were like, oh yeah, some crazy stuff happened in your country right now, and I was like, yeah, there's a reason we're here.
So were you paying attention to stuff?
A little bit. I got caught up.
How did you get caught
Unfortunately,
up?
just reading the news and stuff, but I eventually got caught up.
Hopefully you're reading Politico.
You know, what happened to Politico?
It's just, oh my gosh, this is such a stupid story. So this whole fake controversy came out about it all had to do with US aid.
Oh yeah,
Um
I haven't seen that.
yeah, and how it came out like USA gave Politico $8 million. So they spun
Oh
that
yeah,
narrative as, yeah, that
I did see that.
Politico, you know, was like government propaganda.
Yeah, it was
Um,
just it was literally just subscriptions paid by the government, right?
it's literally a service that anyone could sign up for.
Yeah,
That like would completely make sense why a government agency would sign up for this to have the most up to date news. Like
yeah.
that's insane. It's like no
I
different than like AP and Reuters.
I also saw where all that information, a lot of the stuff that like the Doge people were pulling like these numbers from, were
Yeah,
public until like the Trump admin took down the websites.
yeah,
So like it was all public information that like literally anyone could have accessed, and people like
yes.
had the archives, and they were like they're pretty clearly just pulling from this.
But that's the thing. All of this that they're doing about this, like
Yeah, I know it's
they're saying all this, like people. How do people not realize like anything government that's taxpayer is open like to the public? Like you can go into like pretty sure every government agency and figure out how much money they're spending and where it's going. Now, like if you suspect them of corruption, then yeah, that's one thing. But
yeah.
like
Don't worry, Big Balls is on it.
what?
You haven't heard about Big Balls?
Big balls?
Yeah, so the people that are working on Doge are all like the majority of them are just dudes
Oh
between, yeah, like
yes.
they're aged like 18 to like 25, and Big
Yeah.
Balls got fired
We're
because
saying
two
some
years
very
prior
racist.
he was leaking company secrets out.
Oh wait, no,
It's
is
an
the guy different?
internship.
I thought that was a racist guy.
He was also racist.
Wait, that was the same guy?
I think so.
No, I thought it was two different people.
I also saw another story of someone saying that they were given 15 minutes in a meeting with a 19-year-old to explain what they did at their job and why they were like vital, why they shouldn't be let go. So we're doing great.
How like we are literally living in a meme. This
Yeah.
is insane. This
Yeah.
is insane. Like what's happening?
The other thing that I don't know if people realize, or that a lot of people just don't, is like the new admin has already said they're not touching Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, defense, Homeland Security, or the interest payments on our debt. That's like somewhere between like 70 to 80% of the budget.
Correct.
And they're planning on cutting revenue, so they're never going to balance it,
Correct.
and they're never going to pay down any of the debt.
Well, listen, I think the only thing I could think of comparably, like if people want to do the digging, like I haven't dug as much, but like from my understanding is this is similar to the what the guy down in Argentina has been doing, and
Uh,
like that was a lot of what was like inspired, I guess, Project 2025, and some people want to believe that that's not a real thing, and some people kind of do. I mean, like it is kind of a real thing. I watched a
yeah,
really good like documentary from like a reputable source that I can to link to anyone that wants to know, but um this video was made like two months ago, so like before he was inaugurated, and basically was like it was kind of like OJ's book of like, hey, what if I did it? So she like broke it down like, hey, if they were gonna do all these things, this is how they would do it,
yeah.
and like this is what they would tell you. Is it, I mean, like it's like word for word happening.
I I saw something today that was a guy breaking down. It was one of Trump's executive orders that like got rid of disclosures that are required for like government officials and employees receiving gifts. It,
Yeah.
and it rescinded like some restrictions on lobbying, and then he put it together with a clip of Trump on Theo Vaughn's podcast talking about if you've worked in the government you can't be a lobbyist anymore and vice versa, and then pointed out that Trump appointed 5 former lobbyists to his cabinet.
But the thing is, it's like to you, I guess to you and I, this should feel like it's like common knowledge or like easily accessible information. And like, I think it actually is. Like, it wasn't hard for you to find this information and like to fact check it and
Yeah,
all that. Or like, I don't know. To me, fact checking should be like if multiple sources are saying the same thing, you know? Like, I don't know. I mean, it is a confusing thing. 'Cause I was actually talking to somebody about it today where like, and I'm not claiming to be smarter than anybody else, but like, some things that like, if you talk about current events, like Doge and all that, okay, the idea behind it makes sense. Like, sure, like there's definitely government inefficiency. Like a lot of stuff like this hasn't, been done, and like there's definitely ways. Like it's just like the country is a business, and like there's always ways to find out to like better use your money and make cuts and whatever. But like the way they're going about it is the most insane way to do it.
yeah. I don't know if you know anyone that works for the federal government, but they basically are
Yeah,
just getting a bunch of
I think
threatening
we both
emails
know.
every single day.
Wait, have you talked to this person?
I've talked to a couple, and yeah, they're getting threatening emails saying that they can't use the terms diversity, equity, or inclusion, or pronouns.
I just don't understand. Like, why do people like think like this matters?
Well,
Like, this
personally,
is like
I'm
one
happy
percent.
plastic straws are
One
back.
percent of our problems that people are making like decisions on. This is what like literally 1% of the problems,
Yeah,
and it's all distraction, and people are just eating it up. I just don't understand.
yeah.
It's like really frustrating.
The tariff stuff too is also very funny. It, I follow this guy on Twitter, Jamie Dupree. you should give him a follow, because
You should
basically
enjoy it.
he'll tweet out like something will happen, and someone will be like, unprecedented thing, this has never happened before, and then he'll just like, he's been covering Congress since like the like 1980, and he's just like, actually this has happened like 47 times since like 1993. And he
Like
talks
what? Give an
about,
example.
I'll give you an example right now. So the Trump threatened Mexico with tariffs and Canada, and then they backed off for like 30 days and uh, got him to agree to like increase border, security or protection. Did the exact same thing in 2019. Got the exact same deal. Exact same thing with Mexico. And you know who else did it and got the exact same deal with not threatening tariffs, but reached a deal to like increase border security and get 10,000 troops, Mexican troops, on the border to help deal with this. The Biden administration
Obama.
of 2021.
Uh,
So he threatened tariffs. They were like, oh wow, he got this great deal because he threatened them. And the deal was the same deal he had already gotten that didn't make a difference, and a deal that Biden had gotten that also did not make a difference.
uh, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just one of those things. It's like there's probably an end date to those contracts or deals or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's like a real deal that they're signing, and it's up for them to renew. So he's got to make like a dog and pony show about it, you know, to do it. Like that's the thing. It's like so much of it is performative, like they're literally doing it, to distract you from like what's actually happening. Like it doesn't make sense. Like I guess like you shouldn't be surprised because like Trump was literally a TV actor, so like he's very comfortable in front of the camera, you
Yeah.
know. Like he was on TV for years, like, and that's the thing. Like anyone knows about acting, like yeah, you can like really make a lot of people believe whatever the fuck you want, like, and obviously to a lot of people, he's very convincing.
Well, he does everything right, and everyone else does things wrong. You just got to keep it simple.
I mean, there's people that I know that I would consider like pretty intelligent, or at least on paper should be considered very intelligent, and like hardcore MAGA. And I feel like, and I would say that for anyone who's like super liberal. Like if you're like hardcore one way, there's something wrong with you. Like there is something wrong. Like it's just like not normal. Like you should not want life for you. I guess for you, you can do whatever you want, but like for everyone else to have the same like life as you. That's just
Yeah.
like antithetical to freedom, which like we're supposed to be about here.
No, I was talking to my parents, and I was telling them about the threatening emails that people I know have been getting about
Oh God, I
removing the
forgot.
terminology relating to DEI, and then I told them I'm glad we elected the party of free speech.
Did they like that one?
My dad didn't think it was very funny.
Like, I guess you don't have to talk about this, but like, do do you think like they're far gone? Like, or are they at this point they have to dig their heels in because they can't admit that they're wrong?
Uh, I don't think they've ever questioned that they could be wrong.
It's
Yeah.
so scary. That's
So
insane.
I think I was talking to someone, and I was like, I think basically for them to change their minds about anything, like something would have to happen to like myself, or like just like someone they're directly related to.
That was like caused by
Yeah.
this
Even then, I'm
administration's
not sure.
decision-making.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of with you because I'll give examples like some people who vote a certain way had a very strong reaction to COVID, where probably to this day still don't believe that COVID was a real thing and a real like
Yeah.
threat to people. I knew somebody who's a medical professional who like acted like COVID was not a big deal and was like very. And I get it, like the government did overreach in a lot of ways, but like, I mean, I guess no one else was handling it any better. Yeah, well, like, yeah, there's obviously we can't act like it's not a threat. We can't act like we can't do anything about it. Blah blah. Anyways, he got COVID, almost died, was in the hospital, like, and came out, and for maybe a short amount of time, he was like, "Oh yeah, the tune completely changed." And then a short amount of time later, he was back to like saying, "Ah, but I survived." Like just for completely forgetting that he was literally not almost deleted from this earth, and that he was like completely back into, yeah, like it wasn't that bad. I was okay. Look at me now. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What kind of reality are you living in?
Yeah, I just don't think those people have ever stopped to think maybe they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Have never questioned, that part of it.
It like
Or
I
they're
know, like,
terrified that they are wrong, so they just have to. Like some people on this podcast will like make a take about sports, and then they'll just
yeah,
refuse to admit that they're ever wrong about it, and just
yeah,
entrench
horseshoe,
themselves
horseshoe, right?
farther
Horseshoe.
and farther, yeah, into
Yeah,
that point where they can't move. And I think something similar has happened there. It's not a healthy way of dealing with things.
no, 100%. I mean, listen, you're not supposed to diagnose people with mental illness. You're not supposed to diagnose anyone unless you're actually a medical professional. I guess I don't know whatever the Hippocratic code is.
I
Might
don't
have
know.
to have your
I'm
wife
pretty
come
sure if
on
you have a
here.
YouTube channel, you can diagnose anyone with anything. And
Well,
and if you're really racist, you just say you have autism.
Kanye. Um,
And
and
Elon.
Elon, yeah. I mean, did he do the SWAT? Like, did he do the Z Hail?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your take on that one? I don't know if he's explicitly a Nazi, but he definitely did that on purpose because he knew that people would think it was a Nazi salute.
Okay. First thing first, he's definitely autistic. I'm sorry. He's definitely autistic. Does not excuse his
I,
behavior
I don't think
because,
that matters.
well, he's saying it does, and some people are believing him and saying that, like, oh, it's like he doesn't have Tourette's.
Yeah.
He's still like very cognizant of what he's doing, and like even if it was like, okay, yeah, it was autistic, but there was no apology, and there was like, oh, like he didn't denounce it. He just said he's autistic. Like he didn't denounce it and saying that, yeah, it is a bad thing. Like how can we not agree? Like yeah, anything remotely close to it, like just say like, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Like I'm sorry. This is what it look. But like he gave an excuse. I feel like if you don't like just address it versus just like denying it or giving some ridiculous excuse, it's like, hey, like I'm autistic. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, do I think Elon Musk is a Nazi? I don't think so, but
He could
he
be.
does a lot of like Nazi sympathizing.
Yeah, you could look. I don't know if you're familiar with the history of South Africa, but
Yeah,
it's not great.
yeah, and his family profited off of apartheid.
Yeah.
They were like,
I
weren't they
didn't.
in ruling like while apartheid was happening?
Uh, I, his dad was definitely alive during that time and making money. Wasn't his dad the one that married his stepdaughter?
Yes,
Yeah, I think we learned that a couple episodes ago. Yeah,
yes.
but very fine people.
Like the party and the people of family values,
Yes,
like how was any of that and like America first. Okay, so we're letting a South African guy decide the fate of our country. Like this makes
yes,
no sense to me.
yeah. It's interesting.
And like, listen,
We haven't even gotten to
we're not
RFK.
we're not even talking like this to like convince anyone. Like, listen, you can like people even if they listen to this, like, listen, I am not trying to influence anyone in any certain type of way. This is like you know a place for us to like share our opinions, and we're allowed to do that for however long free speech is still a thing. Um, before our corporate overlords start limiting stuff. I mean, in the reality thing is like, we're so scared of being China because everything's controlled by the government there. Okay, so like we're doing the same thing here,
Yeah.
except we are just handing the government over to the corporate world, who purely just care about profit.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people uh, don't want government in their lives as long as they don't want that, but they do want it in other people's lives that don't live like them.
But these still same people rely on like government services.
I know.
Like you have to be like super uber rich, i.e., the people who are currently running our country, to like not realize how much you do rely on the government. Like, not everyone has a personal army. If like, I, not everyone has a personal police force. I guess if you even look at it at a basic level, like that's all taxpayer funded. Like, I get it. Like, there's like ways we could spend money better, but just like deleting fucking programs without even doing like an analysis of it, like there's no audit. At least people shit on like Deloitte and those like auditing big three shit, but like they do a legitimate like business practice, whether they do it ethically or not is whatever. But like it's a legit thing. Like they study, like they're embedded and they like study before they make any decision. Like to like because they're like names on it. But in this case, like I mean, who's the thing is like who's gonna stop Elon Musk? I guess like who's gonna stop Donald Trump? That's what they're really just doing. They're like, who's gonna stop us?
Yeah,
Like try to stop us.
I did see.
I mean,
I did see two things that veterans are just finding out that they were benefiting from DEI,
yes,
which I find very funny, and that like the vast majority of the money for the Department of Education goes to red states.
yeah. This is all very public knowledge.
The other thing, I saw a video of someone talking. It was specifically about the Department of Education. It's just like
Yeah.
somebody has to pay for like this stuff. Then you just,
The states will
like,
figure it out.
well, yeah, it's like okay, so I guess the states just have to,
Fund their entire education. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the
Well,
DOE figures out where a lot of the money goes in our education system. That makes So what are they gonna do? Just like start just give blank checks to states and let states just figure it out? Like, are they
no,
gonna decide, hey, this state gets this much of a chunk of money, like they deserve this? Like, I guess that's what they're trying to do. Like they're
no,
literally
just
trying to run it like a very simplified business.
no. I think the point is they're not going to get states won't get anything. They're just not going to spend that money. So now the states have to find it.
Well, what I was saying, like each state is a lot of taxpayer money, right? Like for states that don't have like a way of generating income themselves, they rely on federal money. Like people need to realize that like whether you're for income tax or not, like if you're not paying local taxes or state, like that means that money is coming from the federal government because they don't, like cities and counties and states don't just like how else will they make money to like pay for the services that you use? That's literally how taxing works.
Yeah. No, you're right. There is a lot of there's a lot of stuff even at the local level that's funded federally. But I think the point of this is that that funding goes now, and then the states, then the local levels. Just I guess
Yeah,
you're just gonna have to find it.
yeah, that's also, I guess that's what I'm saying.
So
It's
yeah,
like well, like people are gonna start. These are legitimate, just austerity measures. Like no one has called it, and our government have not called it austerity measures. This is austerity measures, which basically means that the poor people suffer the most. Like it just like it's a trickle down effect. Like whoever's at the bottom is just gonna. It's everyone feels the pain that I don't know. I mean, like, but the people who are at the bottom are gonna feel it the worst. Like, and I guess that's like where like who sticks up for those people. because like most of us are gonna be okay, when like prices like are
Yeah.
gonna rise and things are gonna happen. Like we're getting rid of jobs also, like that hurts unemployment. Like we complain about homelessness, like we're literally taking people out of their homes because we're getting rid of their source of income. Like I don't know why people also think that like government employees make a lot of money. Like sure, there are some jobs in some departments that make like, like comparable salaries to like corporate jobs, but there's a bunch of people fucking getting paid like 40, like 35, $40,000. Like you can go look at the GS scale, which is like what the government pay scale is, and see how much like government employees make. And if you look at it, it's like, are they really saving that much money by cutting these departments?
Uh, no, but you're also forgetting that no one in the government does anything. They all sit at home and eat Fritos.
Yeah, this I mean, yeah, like the world just keeps spinning, with no one doing anything.
That was another thing. I asked my parents, what do they think would happen if you pulled $2 trillion out of the economy? Would that be good or bad?
What do they say?
They were like, well, I guess it'd be bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, it Can I hit you with one of my favorite fun facts about a trillion?
Yeah.
Do you know how big a trillion is?
How would I know that? I don't know. 100 billion?
It's 1,000 billion. Uh,
1,000 billion.
so I'll get to that. So do you know how long you have to live 1 billion seconds?
How long you have to live?
Yeah,
1 billion seconds? Man, why are you asking me to do math?
just take a guess.
I don't know. 70 years.
It's a little under 32 years.
32 years?
Yep, to live a
Okay.
billion seconds. So do you know how long you'd have to live 1 trillion seconds?
It's kind of something ridiculous,
Yeah,
like
a little
500.
under 31,000 years.
That's insane. Like, when you quantify it, like, I mean, but that's the whole point of that exercise.
Yeah, uh, yeah. So the debt's not going anywhere. The debt's just going to get bigger until one day it gets too big, and hopefully I'm dead
Yeah.
by then.
I mean, all right. What is the DoD's? But is it not like $3 trillion?
I have no idea.
What's our total? What's our deficit right now? Like, what's our debt?
I think it's at like 35 or 36, 37 trillion.
Yeah. Uh, what did Argentina do? I don't know. I feel like I gotta look into it. Argentina, they said that had like a surplus for the first time in like 30 years.
Yeah, we're not Argentina. We have a slightly
I know. I'm
different
just saying,
economy.
like that's the only comparable thing. That what I can't even think of that guy's name down there. Um, that's essentially what they're doing here. Except I think he closed down every like non-essential in his mind, non-essential government agency like day one.
Do you know? Have you ever heard the term of just the unfunded liabilities that the U.S. government has?
Yeah,
So it's basically
explain.
promises they've made for like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, like veterans and federal employees through pensions, and basically just other promises the government has made in the future for money. So the unfunded liabilities is like the present value of that promise. Want to take a guess as to what it is?
Is this some like a monetary value?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's the dollar amount of all the promises we've made of what the
Oh,
government's going to pay in the future.
to like different entities.
Yeah. So like Social Security, all that.
Oh fuck. Okay. God damn, like $100 trillion.
The $120 trillion. It's such an outrageous number.
Holy shit. Listen, people care about the fucking little bit of credit card debt that they're carrying. Like,
Yeah.
we're fucked, guys. Listen, that's why there's people who they're what do they call? They're accelerationists, right? like this is inevitable. People know that this is inevitable, but like obviously you can do things to delay it, to make improve things, blah blah blah, like and like make it where like, hey, maybe like our generation and the following generation will be okay, but then like just you just kicking the can down the road, you know.
Yeah.
Um, there's always everything's a means to the end, right? And there's like people who they're like accelerationists who they exist to like just speed that process up for their own personal gain. And whatever that personal gain is like, I guess like that's the part I gotta figure out, you know, for my own not like what are they trying to accomplish? Because everyone's trying to accomplish something. Like all these complex issues that happen
You
in
know,
the world in our country, I feel like
we're trying to
are
make
broken
America great
down.
again.
Yeah, but they break down into like very basic like human
Yeah.
principles. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
I gotta take this thing off because I gotta drink something. All right, this is my
Hopefully,
face. Keep
yeah.
it on my neck.
Like I said, hopefully I'm dead before anything happens.
You know, I was really hoping that a lot of this was gonna happen, you know, after I died. But
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't even know if like
To be fair, I was
I don't know if we're gonna make it to our end. I feel like we're gonna we might be toast.
I was actually pretty concerned on the flights back that that a plane was going to crash because there's a plane there's some sort of plane incident like once a day now.
I mean, listen. Somebody say all of this sounds conspiracy theorist, but like I guess like it's kind of hard to hide aviation like issues and like problems, but like is it really a problem or like you know has it been a problem and now it's like something that they're highlighting? I guess we would have to look up like facts about like because I'm assuming the NTSB and stuff like who I guess records every like transportation accident. Wow,
There
would
are
have those facts.
there are not many
I mean,
accidents
listen, and
with
there's been
U.S.
some very
commercial airlines.
catastrophic. But the thing is, like, okay, that's to say, like, there is like some very catastrophic incidents that's happened. Like, a lot of people have
Yeah,
died, which like I can't remember the last time. I feel like we would know if like a lot of people died in a plane crash. You know?
I don't know if I want to type. I was about to type in history of like U.S. commercial airline crashes. I was like, I don't know. This seems like I might be playing in something. I got you dressed like a terrorist.
No, it will be a problem for me, not for you. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I I don't know.
you look like the way you do, and you live in Oregon. So I mean, I feel like that's both of us are on a watch list. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
I thought I was the only one, but you're
yeah.
definitely on one.
I thought I was safe.
After this podcast, we're definitely on a couple.
Oh yeah, but no, I'm a little concerned because I mean I'm a white male that's not working,
Yeah.
married, no kid, not Christian. I'm everything JD Vance hates. I think they might come after me.
JD Vance is the funniest person that exists.
Just
His whole thing is a persona. If you really know what he's about,
I've, I've seen some odd pictures
he's just a
of
tech
them.
bro. He's literally a tech bro.
Oh God. Want to talk about sports? 50 minutes into this,
Ah,
we
I
haven't
guess
mentioned
like isn't
sports.
is this is this a sports centric podcast?
I know it, and your team won the Super Bowl. I thought you were going to
Holy
lead with
shit.
that.
Um, I mean, listen. Right, should I just do it? Should I just break it all down?
Yeah, go for it. How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
hold on. I'm feeling really good, and I don't know. I haven't really looked into if this is normal sentiment for a lot of people. Um, but the only other like very close Eagle fans that I know is like family, and coincidentally, like a lot of us just had kids or like have a lot of stuff going on right now. And like, yeah, we all watched the game. We're super pumped, but like this championship isn't hitting as good as the first one. I guess like maybe you wouldn't know because I don't think you've ever won a championship before. Um,
Not true.
but what championship have you won?
Uh, '01 national championship, '03 World Series. Heavily invested in both of those. I've also won
Oh
like
three,
three out of the last four Stanley Cups.
oh three World Series. The Rays?
Marlins, Yankees.
Oh,
I I
Marlins.
I would actually I was my my grandparents used to watch like every single Marlins game. I think
Yeah.
they're the only people in the world to actually do that. Uh, really liked that team. Was heavily into. I watched every playoff game. I think that's the last time I
What?
watched a full baseball game start to finish.
So what was the key to that team? Did they just spend a bunch of money on people? Because they have like a crazy roster, right? Didn't they have they done like 30 for 30s and stuff on them? Because they did. I don't think they did anything after that.
No, so the Marlins won in '97, and that one I think they spent money. They had a really good team. You can look at. I think they had like uh, God, I can't remember who they had. They had a lot of players like you would recognize. And
Yeah.
then the owner of the time, I think he wanted his own stadium and told the city, if I don't get my own stadium, then I'm just going to blow this team up and trade everyone away. And the city said no, and he said, "Okay, I'm going to blow this team up and trade everyone away." And that's what they did. And in '03, they weren't very good, and then they fired their manager like early into the year, hired Jack McKeon, and then it just kind of randomly turned out that Dontrell Willis is really good. They
Yeah.
just they had Josh Beckett, and I think Miguel
Oh yeah.
Cabrera was a rookie that year, and it was just like, oh yeah, this guy's like legitimately one of like the 20 best baseball players ever.
Yeah.
I think they traded for Pudge. Pudge was big. They randomly just had like a really good pitching staff with like all their prospects, and then yeah, they just kind of it was dream season that year.
Anyways, thanks for that Marlins talk.
Yeah,
Um, and then what were the other championships you said?
'01 national championship football.
Hurricanes. I mean, how old were you? Like,
That's 10.
okay, okay. Um, in the last
Yeah, like three of the
how about
last four
the last
Stanley Cups.
decade? The last decade. What was
Yeah,
what
three of
have
the
you
last
won?
four Stanley Cups.
You have you don't know anything about the P's.
I know so much about. I know so, Kachuk, Bob,
You're just saying names.
goalie
Just say,
Bob, Vernagey,
you're just saying names. Literally just saying names.
Reinhardt, and I was heavily invested in the Bolts too. Love the Bolts. Kucherov,
Why are
Bassy,
you just naming names?
Stamkos.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. Did Stamkos win a championship?
Yeah, I think Stamkos has won three.
I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't he
I
on the
used to
team that
be
won
really big
in
in
'03?
hockey, but something about living in Florida. Like I
Yeah,
was big in hockey when I lived in up north, but
state of
moving
Florida
down
runs
here.
hockey guy.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like it also, I don't not something I want to agree with. Um, okay, so you might know what it feels like to win a championship, but not really. Yeah, the first one in 2017 when the Eagles won that one, like that, like I cried. You know, I cry a lot when the Eagles do things. Hand up, one of the things I cry about. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if like just the way that they dominated that game, and honestly, like I don't think it ever crossed my mind that we would win the Super Bowl this year, but I knew that like we had a really good team and like we had the potential. You know, like I don't know. I mean, like I guess like the older I've gotten, the more like realistic of a fan I've gotten, and like I don't like to just be like, oh yeah, like we're gonna win the Super Bowl, have that overconfidence. Um, I was just like, damn, like we have a really fucking good team. Like we figured it out. Like after going 2-2, Nick Sirianni stopped being a fucking dumbass. Like he's a completely different person.
I could make the argument that Nick Sirianni's still a total fucking dumbass.
Not a total like he might be a dumbass still, but not a total fucking dumbass.
They did some interesting stuff in that game. And I was just like, it didn't matter. But I was just like, why the fuck are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, like what?
The one of them that stuck out, I think it was 3rd and 3 after the 2-minute warning from like the 50, and they threw it
What quarter was it?
after the second quarter. In the second quarter, right before halftime, they're at the 50. It was third and
Oh,
three after the 2-minute warning, and they threw it. It was
yeah. I mean,
incomplete, and they punted it away.
I think they just thought that they could just do whatever they want to the Chiefs. Like and like for the most part, they did. Like not everything's gonna work, but like listen, those two touchdowns in garbage time, like have no reflection of how that game went. Like as far as I'm concerned, we shut the Chiefs out, and the game was over. Like you know, basically that like towards the end of the third quarter. Like, I mean, it could have been over at halftime,
Yeah,
but the
I like the
28 to
way,
3 thing, I was
I
like,
like the way
damn,
you said
Mahomes
that.
could really have a ridiculous comeback. But yeah, once like halftime, like the third quarter, very early in the quarter, you're like, oh shit, like there's been no change. Like if
Yeah,
anything, the Eagles are playing even better.
there was I think at halftime of that game, I was like seriously considering. I was like, are the Chiefs throwing this game?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because there was some weird stuff that happened that I was just like, what the fuck is this? The
that's the thing.
DeAndre
Like,
Hopkins
I don't
drop
understand.
was was odd.
Like, how do they place like I don't listen. Obviously, the Chiefs are not as good as they have been. Like even in 21 when we played, like like the Eagles like played very well in that game. The Chiefs also played very well in that game. We didn't have the same defense that we have now. Um, but like those are two very good teams that played in this game. Like the Chiefs were not the same Chiefs, you know. But
Yeah,
still, like how were they able to do what they did to like the Bills and like whatever and like I
yeah.
don't understand.
The one thing I really didn't get, uh, I don't mean to. This isn't meant to take anything away from the Eagles, but like the Chiefs had issues with their left tackle, and they were playing a guard at tackle. And, like I guess it was
Yeah.
working well in the playoffs, but like that obviously was something.
Yep.
And like you knew the Eagles had a good defensive line, and the
Yeah.
Chiefs went out zero adjustments for anything in their offense to handle it, and just let Joe Tooney get demolished for 3 straight quarters before they tried to do anything different. And like that was the part where I was just like, I don't understand how that happened.
They also didn't run the ball at all.
Yeah, that was the second thing. They from the very beginning of the game, they never tried to run the ball.
And that's why I give credit to like, and I guess it's easier to do with, Saquon than, I guess Pacheco or Kareem Hunt. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like Pacheco, you can give him the ball and he'll try to get 1 or 2 yards. There's sometimes he got stuffed, but like Saquon, like they still ran the ball a decent amount, like just to wear that defense out and kind of
Yeah,
like throw,
because you have
like
to.
run stuff up the pass, blah blah blah, and they were running with Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I don't know if they just like didn't have another plan. I guess they must have just not had another game plan, like which that's just on coaching. Like that's
Yeah,
insane.
that was the part I didn't the not even trying to run the ball. I didn't understand, and then the just having no plan for your O line,
Yeah,
like it was just weird,
I
and
mean, like
I didn't
listen,
expect that.
like you got to pull up the D line stats. I mean, they had like 8 sacks. They had like a ridiculous amount of hurries, and you know, at one point Mahomes had 14 yards. I think in the second quarter,
Yeah,
he had like 14 yards passing. Like how insane is that?
Yeah, that the two things that made me think like, are the Chiefs throwing this? Uh, it was the not running the ball was one of them, and then their receivers like Kelsey Mahomes had like two plays like early in the game where it just looked like Kelsey just like didn't even try to catch it almost. Like it was just kind of weird. And then there
I
was
think Travis
also
Kelce's cooked. I think he's done.
yeah, he hasn't been very good. He wasn't very good this year. But like that was weird. The DeAndre Hopkins drop was weird because like that
Oh,
play like could have been a
that was
touchdown.
that was
And like
bad.
that would have made it an actual game.
Yeah,
Um, that was incredibly bizarre. And then Hollywood Brown on the first two series on both third downs. On the
yeah,
first one, Mahomes made a dumb pass, but it was like a pass that he can get away with because he's
yeah.
Mahomes. And
Right,
instead of Brown coming back for the ball and making like at least attempting to catch it, which if he had made any attempt to get back to the ball, he probably would have been interfered with, and it probably would have been pass interference. He
right.
just didn't, and it was almost picked off. And then the next third down, Mahomes is scrambling and trying to get it to him, and Brown is 2 yards in front of the first down line, and Mahomes is throwing it where he should be,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
I, I mean, like, did the Chiefs? Does that show like they really were just propped up? Like all their games were so close, and it like came down to like controversial calls that like like I guess shows that it they had game breaking like things happen in their favor, you know, and the refs didn't really call a lot of things. I mean, they had the they must have just done that like to test the waters to see how people would react because that first OPI was ridiculous.
I,
Um, and
I
then
will.
like
Can
the
I
makeup
give you
call
one
on the
point?
other side was also ridiculous. I was just
Can I
like,
give you
okay,
one point on that offensive pass interference? Would it
yeah.
have been pass interference if the defender put his hand on AJ Brown's face mask while he's trying to catch the ball?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, I think like it's
Yes.
just hand fighting. It's hand fighting.
Absolutely. You
Yeah,
can't touch
but
this
you
guy's
think AJ Brown
face.
did that intentionally? It was not an intentional move.
So, if you grab someone's face mask,
Come
but
on.
yeah, the personal foul after that was a ridiculous call. And then
That's what I'm saying.
there was another ticky tack one late in the game where it was just like it was a little bit of just like why are you calling that? Like there's no real reason to call that, and also for the Chiefs player, like why are you doing that?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I remember that. Oh, it was this on the Saquon.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
but
that was
like even
stupid.
that like that happens on like
Yeah, I
every
was like,
single
hey,
play.
that was. I was like, hey, I'll take it. I think they just wanted to end the game at that point, but
Yeah,
also like, yeah, like to the Chiefs player, like, what are you doing? Like
yeah.
in front of the ref to like Saquon, like it makes no sense why you would do that. Um, I'm trying to think what I mean. There was definitely some calls that, like I said, I don't think they're game breaking calls, but like should have been called against the Eagles and never got called. Like that strip, like that strip sack of Mahomes,
Mm-hmm.
where Jalen Carter came in and just like punched him literally in the face. And like obviously, I mean, well, Jalen Carter, you don't know if it's intentional or not. I don't think it was intentional. I think he was trying to hurt him. I don't think he was trying to like bash his face in. Um, like that 100% would have been called,
Yeah,
and that fumble would have been reversed. Like lot like against the Bills, that would have happened. When I saw that, I saw it in real time. I was shocked, and I was also shocked that Mahomes didn't even complain about it, which I was very confused by that either.
yeah. So I think we can agree, Mickey Mouse Championship that was rigged.
Yeah, I don't think that's you cannot say that.
Uh, no, it was weird. It felt like the Chiefs just thought they were going to walk in and just do what they do and win the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they became like what they I don't know, like what they wanted to overcome, like that
Yeah,
narrative that like, hey, they were like humble winners, but like they really like got way too big for their britches.
yeah. So you asked me before the game what I thought was going to happen, and
Yeah,
I'd been thinking about it kind of all day, and I just kind of defaulted to somehow Mahomes is going to win,
yeah,
like just somehow, like because that's just what happens. And I also text you right after that I actually think we're due for a stinker, and I had this in the back of my mind. I was like, I'm pretty sure we're due for a stinker, but I was just like, I don't see how like the Chiefs are going to win easy.
Yeah.
But I also didn't. I was like, so if it's going to be a stinker, it felt like the Eagles will win. But I was like, also like the Chiefs don't get beat like that, like they haven't been.
Right.
And I was just
No, I
like,
mean,
I ended up in this thing where I was just like, I was just going to default. I was like, I'm just going to stick to somehow Mahomes is going to win.
my and like obviously we didn't get to talk about it because we didn't record, but my analysis pre-game, like coming up to it, was basically like, hey, I don't think the Eagles are gonna get demolished. Don't think they're gonna demolish the Chiefs. I think the Eagles have a very strong chance of winning. I do think they're gonna win. I thought like you said, like my default was like if the Chiefs win, it's like Mahomes is gonna play out of his mind and Travis Kelsey is gonna show up and like because that or somebody for the Chiefs was gonna step up. Like they always have random people to step up. Something was gonna happen. You know, like kind of like what happened in 21. Like it was just like a very back and forth. Like I thought we were gonna have literally a rematch, and this time the Eagles would pull it off. Um, but yeah, I did not predict that what happened was gonna happen. Like, and my key to my game, to the Eagles winning was like I was like, all right, I think that our defense is gonna be great. They were like fucking amazing. Um, but I was like, okay, like Jalen does have to have a good game, you know. Because I'm thinking I was like, hey, they can't stop Saquon, AJ, Devonta, Goddard, and Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts can't turn the ball over. He did throw a pick. I was not happy about it. Afterwards, I think it wasn't that bad of a pick, I guess.
No, that
It
wasn't
was
a
also very
that was a horrible
weird
pick.
interception. I mean, yes, no, like it was a bad interception, but like as in like ramifications,
Yeah, it ended up it didn't matter at all.
Yeah, it
Uh,
didn't really matter at all. Um,
yes,
I,
so I thought the game was going to end up like not necessarily like real low scoring, but like I thought it would end up like somewhere in the 20s. Like the Chiefs defense would play pretty good, and what I expected was the Chiefs to just score on their first drive, do like Andy Reid scripted drive, score, and then not score again until like late in the third quarter. This doesn't that sound right? Yeah,
yeah,
they get like a
yeah,
field goal before half, and then like they don't score again until late in the third quarter, and they're down
yeah,
10.
like suffocate, just
Yeah.
suffocate. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
so like I thought it was going to be like that, and after Hurts threw that interception, I was like, okay, like this is all like this is exactly what the Chiefs needed, and then they never did anything. It never looked like they tried.
they only had one game plan for both sides of the ball. It
Yeah,
was okay. Their D line is very good, but we're gonna just get balls out quick to our receivers. Um, except they didn't account that like Mahomes would have absolutely no time. Like they thought
yeah.
he was gonna have some time, he had no time, zero
You
time,
you know who
zero
could
time
have
to
won that game for the Chiefs?
what?
You know who could have won that game for the Chiefs?
Who?
Tua.
Okay. Uh, he
Yeah,
definitely would have
but
been concussed. I mean, he got hit 8 times.
he would have had the ball out.
Dude, Jalen Carter would have concussed him probably in like the first half.
No, Tua would have had the
100%.
ball. They were trying to run the Tua offense, but Mahomes can't do it.
Yeah, and on defense, they're like, oh, if we just stop Saquon, like, we'll be good. Which is insane thing, like to disrespect our receiving core like that. And listen, man, Jalen is someone gotta give him his flowers. Like, I get it. Like sometimes he's just like, what are you doing, Jalen? But like when he's fucking good, he's like unbelievably good. Like he was throwing dead accurate passes. Like I think he like had like I think 6 or 7 completions in a row with one drop. Like that, he was like lights out and like I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he's either really good or really bad throwing the ball, and there's no in between.
Yes. Like that deep ball to Devonta Smith, honestly, during the season, I think that's a 50-50 whether that's getting intercepted or not. But like he hit Devonta like in stride, like but I guess like I mean that you build on it, right? Like you build on the confidence. And I think that's a big thing about him is like if he gets confident, if he gets hot, like he can ride that, and like if he throws a little mistake, has little mistakes here and there, it doesn't really rattle him. But like if he's not consistent starting out, like he kind of like it's hard for him to like get comfortable again, and he starts doing dumb shit and that's when he starts making mistakes. Like but I think man, like this has got to be an insane amount of confidence boost to him to like know like hey, this is like I can be better. I mean, that's what I would expect his progression to be. Like does that mean he's going to be like, you know, like he's going to replace Mahomes and Josh Allen at the top? Like I don't think so, you know, but he has the potential.
Yeah. Well, I think it's real good for him that he started and finished a championship game that he won. Huge confidence boost.
As opposed to who?
The times he's played in the championship game or lost, or played in the championship game and had to have Tua come in and save him.
Oh my gosh. Listen, man, it's insane like what he's gone through though. To have all that happen and then like be Super Bowl MVP. And I get it, like some people are gonna say, like, I even say Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP. Does that like speak volumes about Nick Foles overall? Like he was a decent quarterback, but like whatever that magic was that led him to winning the playoffs and win the Super Bowl that year, like he was never able to repeat that. Like next year he was back to being doo doo. Um, like but Jay, I don't know. Like you can't look at that game and like downplay anything that he did to like in I don't think that's a fluke. Like he's done stuff like that. He had an amazing game in 2021. Besides that fumble, like he
Except that
always
backbreaking fumble that was returned for a touchdown that lost him the game.
I know that's what I'm saying. That did not lose the game.
How many points did they lose by?
I remember like 3, 4.
3. How many points did the Chiefs score in that fumble?
I don't know.
Was it 7?
Whatever. There was other things that you can't just put that game on that fumble.
That's a
He
pretty
definitely
big
didn't
play.
help. Definitely didn't help.
That's a pretty big play.
Yeah, but like, listen, man, they're not even in the game if he doesn't play the way he was playing, and they were still in the game after that
I
touchdown.
understand. It's a pretty big play.
Whatever, man. Like you're a Jalen hater. It's very easy to put the blame on him on that.
Well, that play was his fault.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that they lost the Super Bowl because of him. If he's
Again,
not,
how many?
come on, guys. Like, come on, man. Like, listen, that's like shitting on Mark Andrews and stuff. Like, people are gonna do that. You're probably one of them too. Like, the whole game does not ride on that one play. Yeah, in the moment it does, but like
They're pretty big.
I have to look at it as like, hey, should you even put yourself in that situation, or would you even be in that situation?
Still a pretty big play.
Okay, okay.
So now that we've decided it's a Mickey Mouse Championship that you're not even excited for, want to talk about some other sports, or do you have anything, anything else?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the parade.
Ah, yeah. Uh, so something else that happens
Yeah.
since we last talked was Ohio State.
Oh god.
For the
That
national
feels like
championship.
forever ago.
So I just wrote down these terrorist fan bases and organizations keep winning. Past calendar month, Celtics, Ohio State, Eagles, and I'm calling a shot here. I can't do it because I can't bet college sports, but terrorist organization is going to win the national title this year in basketball. And it's you want to say it on 3? 1, 2, 3. Florida.
Duke. Florida.
Florida's going to win the national title in basketball this year.
Really?
Book it. Guarantee it. It's going to happen.
Well, Cooper Flag, man. I thought Cooper Flag.
No, Duke's the obvious. It's Florida.
Is Florida that good? Should I bet on Florida every game?
I think they just beat the number one team in the nation. I'm pretty sure they've been top 10 the entire year, like top five
Who
team.
was number one? Duke.
Auburn.
Auburn's number one. Oh,
I think so.
usually, yeah. Bruce Pearl still there?
Yeah.
You should just coach the game shirtless, huh?
Yeah. You could try, but yeah, terrorist organization.
I mean, why do you say Florida is a terrorist organization?
They're a terrorist organization.
Have you always hated Florida? I feel like that you were a Florida sympathizer sometime in high school.
No.
Didn't both of your brothers go to Florida?
One of my brothers went to Florida. I've always hated Florida. My dad went to UF. My dad hates Florida. My dad played sports at Florida and hates Florida.
Deep down inside, he roots for him.
He does not, I can assure you. Speaking of terrorists, want to talk about Nico Harrison and LUKA Doncic?
Jesus Christ.
Did you follow this at all?
Yes. But I'm not that versed in basketball, so like.
Yeah. So LUKA, objectively, like the worst you can say he is at basketball is the third best player in the world.
Yes.
Like the worst. He was in the finals last year.
Yes.
And they traded him for no fucking reason. And then after they traded him, basically leaked that they all thought he was fat.
It was literally the only reason.
They also said that he weighed over 270 pounds. If he weighed 270 pounds, he would literally be like the third heaviest player in the NBA. That's not true.
Yeah.
I did think of a good analogy for an NFL trade that I think is comparable.
Okay.
It would be like the season after the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. The Bengals traded Joe Burrow to the Cowboys for Dak Prescott. Yes. And the rationale was that Dak could manage the game better, and also we didn't like Joe's attitude.
Yeah.
It's one of the most egregious trades I've. They also, do you know they cost LUKA like $100 million too?
Yeah. See, and it was spiteful. It just seemed like it was all spiteful. Like, but how does it work? Where, like, why didn't they shop him around? Why did they just send him to the Lakers? Did they just?
That's the part no one can figure out. I guess the theories behind that are this Nico Harrison guy is like he loves Anthony Davis and really wants Anthony Davis, and that's the only person he wanted in return is the, I guess, the rationale, but it doesn't make any sense.
So this guy is just like another egotistical owner.
Nico's the GM.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Mavs.
But the owner has to be a dumbass, right?
Yeah. So the Mavs have a new owner. So Mark Cuban sold like his majority stake last year.
Yeah.
He got to like finish out last season as like the controlling owner or whatever.
Yeah.
And then basically as soon as he was gone, the new owners were, I guess, like yeah, you can trade away again at worst the third best player on the planet.
What? But like, okay, they're a business. They're trying to make money. Why else are people going to watch the Mavericks? They're going to watch LUKA Doncic. Like,
yeah,
that means like people are coming. Like, okay, even if the Mavericks were not good, you know, which when he first got there, obviously they weren't that good. But like, that would mean people would just go to watch, and like the opposing teams will probably come and spend money in your city and your stadium and all that to like watch. Like, from a purely business decision, this makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a horrible decision. It doesn't make any sense.
And he's 26 years old?
I think he's 25.
20. He could have been playing there for another, what, 10 years?
Yeah. But apparently he had a bad attitude.
Holy shit, man. Like, what does it say that you can't figure out how to like I guess like maintain the happiness of a 25-year-old.
Yeah. Uh, the other just crazy parts about this. Did you know that Mikal Bridges was traded in the offseason? Uh, I think there were 5 first-round picks involved in that trade, and
Jesus.
the Mavs got 1 first-round pick in Anthony Davis, who got hurt in his first game with the
Yeah.
Mavericks, which is
You
the
think he
least
did it on
shocking
purpose?
thing. What?
You think he did it on purpose?
No, it was non-contact.
Oh. Did they say what it is yet?
No, I think it was like the same thing. He was just coming off an injury. I think it was the same injury that he just like aggravated.
Gotcha.
Uh, yeah, but that's it. It might be the worst trade ever.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make any sense. And the whole like, oh, LeBron didn't know. I guess like maybe if it happened so fast, they couldn't consult
I
LeBron.
actually think this is one where LeBron maybe did not know.
But I guess they were like, well, I guess like there's no
It,
way he would not care, or that he would care, right?
yeah, I'm like, there's no way he would like not okay it because Luka's that
Right,
good. And
right,
the second part was if he didn't like it, he would have just told them to trade him before the trade deadline.
right.
And then the third part is I can absolutely see Rob Pelinka just saying like, I'm not going to tell anyone about this because if any word of this gets out, then we're fucked. Because they're
Yeah,
going to trade him somewhere else for more.
right. Yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Like, yeah, I just want to know like how did he pick the Lakers though? They
He
just oh
wanted
you
Anthony
said right,
Davis.
Anthony
Yeah.
Davis. Yeah, shit.
Apparently he loves Anthony Davis.
That's how unbelievable it is to be. Like, listen, that's like not knocking Anthony Davis, but like
No,
that's
he's
not a one and
incredible.
one trip.
Like he's very good, but Luka again, like at worst, right now at
Yeah,
25 years old, is the third best player on the planet.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. I mean, sorry, I just got a notification that KCP got ejected. You watching that
Did
game?
I have the game on? I was wondering why he didn't start the third.
Yeah. And Nick Smith Jr. got tossed.
Yeah, I saw that. Uh, yeah, that's I don't know. That trade is just it's dumbfounding. Um, I have something else here too.
Yeah.
So I went to a foreign country recently, as we've already detailed, and
Yes.
I've been radicalized. You want to put your
Okay.
sunglasses and face mask back on. Uh, yeah, so basically for like 3 weeks, I didn't look at anything online
Okay.
for a lot of reasons. One, I was on vacation. Two, I also like I didn't want to look at any of the stuff that was happening online for those 3 days. Uh,
Okay.
Came back to America. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I'm done.
We going back into
I'm
politics now? We're going back into politics?
I'm just done with I'm done with Twitter. I'm done listening to other podcasts. I'm done.
No way.
I'm done.
Is this a real like? Are you joking? Right? This has got to be a bit.
No, I think I'm dead serious. I might dip my toes back in, but like I didn't look at Twitter or do anything or watch any Super Bowl preview or prep. I watched that game. I raw dogged the game. No phone.
You said was it fun then?
What?
Experience watching Super Bowl with no prep.
It was great.
Okay. Very convenient. The last game of the whole season, and you like that you would do that.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I haven't
Also,
consumed any.
how do you expect to do this podcast? What are we going to talk about?
I'll still
What?
follow it, but I'm done. I'm done. I also decided it's because I'm tired of being advertised to. I hate the advertisements. The
That's
commercials
very
at the
true.
Super Bowl. The commercials at the Super Bowl this year were awful.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I even paid attention.
Yeah.
Like,
I did love the Harrison Ford commercial where he literally said freedom isn't free. I almost started singing at that point.
okay,
Do you understand the reference?
No.
Yeah, freedom isn't free. Costs folks like you and me. Yeah,
Oh, that song. Wait, why do I know that song? Is that
it's from Team America.
Team America? Okay. Yes. Was
But
that
yeah,
really what
here's
he referenced it?
he didn't finish the line, but he literally did say freedom isn't free in that Jeep commercial.
Is that what they were referencing though?
I,
That
I
song?
don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Freedom is free.
that one isn't bad, and I legitimately almost turned off my TV after the that Hims and Hers commercial.
what, what was the commercial?
The commercial was it detailed like America's getting unhealthier. Our food is the problem.
Oh
Health.
yes.
It was like health and wellness is a
Yeah.
$160 billion
It was just
industry.
a GOP-1 commercial.
Yeah, and then it was buy drugs from us.
But no, buy the specific weight loss drug from us.
Yeah,
That's really a diabetes drug.
yeah. Uh, and those companies they're going to be taken down soon. I mean, they have to be.
Luigi Mangione. No, no. This is listen, man.
No, like
This
those
is the
companies are
end.
bad for you.
Yes, yes. No, I'm agreeing with you, but they're
They're
not going away.
no, they're going to get sued to oblivion at some point because
No,
like at this point they're just pill mills.
I mean,
They exist to sell you drugs that you want, regardless of
hey,
whether or not you
have you
need them.
have you heard about the opioid crisis?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying that these companies are gonna eventually get sued.
Okay, there was something before the opioid crisis. Like, this is just this happens, and like they're ending more regulations, so the shit is
Yeah,
just
no,
gonna keep happening.
they'll get sued though. But I almost turned off my TV at that commercial.
I mean, they'll get sued, and like something else will replace them.
Well, yeah, no, but I want them gone. Yeah, they're one of like the main reasons I hate. I'm over being advertised to that and Blue Chew.
Listen, man, when you need it, then you're gonna be you know crediting. Not even
No,
saying blue chew, but
I'll
just
go to a real
those
fucking
guys.
doctor. Do you know why those things are prescribed?
It's true. True.
Because because there's a reason they need to be.
Well, but think about like our government had to deregulate it for
Yeah,
this to be legal. So like we're like culpable for that
uh, yeah,
as a
but I
government is
just
what I'm saying.
I hate it. I especially hate the Blue Chew commercials too. Those I had to look up what it was at one point because I was like,
So
what am
you're
I
really
even
gonna
being
stop listening to
advertised?
podcasts?
Yeah, since
You're not gonna listen
since
to
I got on
Purple
the
Tape?
plane to leave, since I got on the plane to leave, I have listened to one podcast, and that was about the LUKA trade because I was so dumbfounded by it.
You're not gonna listen to PMT?
No, I think I'm done.
What? You're giving up your AWL?
I might haven't done it in a while. I don't miss it. I'm going less
Oh,
content.
see, I'm going more content, but like I'm just paying for ad-free shit.
No. The other thing, I knew the outcome of the Super Bowl too. I was like, if the Eagles win, it's just going to be Philly people, and that's going to be awful. And if the Chiefs win, it's just going to be everyone online saying it's rigged. So I was like, I think I'm just done. I don't want any part of any of this.
Man, listen,
Yeah, I
I
think
get
I'm
it,
done
man.
with it.
Philly is a very hateable. Everything about Philly is hateable. If you don't like whatever
Mostly
reason,
the
it's very
people.
polarizing. But I don't know. I like most things about Philly.
No, I think I've told you this. Like every time, like in a customer service like situation where I've had someone just be a rationally an asshole to me, they have made it a point to tell me that they are from Philadelphia.
Oh, I think that's just anecdotal to you. I will say when I was a
It's the same reason I hate
car.
firefighters. Almost.
Oh, jeez. We love firefighters here.
No,
Then
no. Did
thin
firefighters
red
do
line,
9/11 for good
thin
PR?
red line, thin red line.
Did firefighters do 9/11 for good PR? I'm asking you.
That's an insane thing to even. That's the wildest 911 9/11 conspiracy. Yeah, I should know how to say 9/11 correctly.
Uh,
Yeah, that's a crazy conspiracy. I
have I
don't even know
not?
if I've heard that one before.
It's an original. Have I never gotten into you about how much I hate firefighters? I've never had a good interaction with a firefighter.
Yeah, but they have a pretty essential job.
No, they're such
Most
assholes.
people kind of
They're
have
such
a little
assholes.
bit of like a little bit of leeway. Speaking of, why is there flashing? Why did I just see flashing red and blue lights in your eyes?
In my eyes.
You have like,
Oh,
was there like a note? Was there
it's
like a
probably the
cop car
TV.
in the TV? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so. It could be. Who knows?
You
But
getting
yeah,
swatted?
I hate firefighters.
Is that ice?
It's probably fucking firefighters.
Can you tell me? Am I gonna lose my citizenship? Can you explain that to me?
Uh, you could.
I need a white man. I need a white man to explain it to me.
Yeah. Well, they did try to get rid of birthright citizenship.
It's currently. I mean, it's in court, but does that mean
It's
I lose my
it's,
citizenship?
it's literally in the Constitution. You might. I don't know.
Well, like in their terms, like what do you know? What's constituted as birthright citizenship?
If you're born here,
Isn't that like most people?
yeah,
So basically, if you were not born here, like there's no exceptions to that. Wait, I was born here.
yeah, you were born here. They want to get rid of that rule.
Yeah, but you were also born here. Does that mean you're not a citizen?
No, but my parents were citizens, so I don't know
Okay,
how
so that's
far
what you're
back it
saying.
goes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So if my parents were not citizens or are still not citizens, like that, I'm very confused. Like, what if they were not citizens when I was born? It means I'm not a citizen.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be retroactive.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'm getting deported.
I know. Well, you're married to a citizen though, so that helps.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I don't trust.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I don't trust it, man. I mean,
I had
who
I
knows?
had the you. Did you vote
You know, I could
fraudulently in
just
the last election?
delete my personnel file, huh?
Did you vote fraudulently in the last election? Election? I think you did.
Or how?
Well, you're not a citizen.
Yeah, but like, I was a citizen up until like January 20th, I guess.
No, because if it was retroactive, then you never were.
No, that's not how. That's not how. Like, okay, that's a.
No.
This
So
is a very
now,
dumb argument. But I feel very strongly in court. A court will back me up here. That like prior to, because like you said, it's in the Constitution.
yeah,
Constitutionally, I'm a citizen.
yeah, this whole thing is ridiculous because it's very very clear in the Constitution. Uh, but I'm using law logic, which is the dumbest form of logic, to actually point out that you are not a citizen, number one, and you've committed a ton of federal crimes every time you voted.
Wait till they find out about all my weapons.
Yeah. If they do
Yeah,
revoke your citizenship, you should ask for all your tax money back.
that's very true. Or they'll be like, "Hey, how about we just call it even and we don't throw you in jail or deport you?"
No,
Eh, eh, eh.
I
They're
can
like,
be
"Hey,
your,
life just goes on for you." I was like, "Okay, all right.
I can be
What
your
am I gonna
attorney.
do? You'll be my attorney."
Yeah.
I would definitely get deported or go to jail forever if you were my attorney.
No,
You
I'm
would
literally gonna.
100% do a Charlie Bird law logic
I'm no,
defense.
I'm actually I've outlawyered lawyers.
All
I
right,
have.
we gotta end this podcast.
Yeah. Can we do a right wing
We
sports
didn't cover
minute?
a lot of things, but I feel like we covered enough.
Yeah. Can we do a right wing sports minute though? Because I haven't sent this to you. I'm going to surprise you with it. See, I can still do
Do I
my
need to
job
put
because I'm
do I
still
need to put
getting
my
the
mask on?
news.
Do I need to put my
Uh,
mask on?
Cal Cooper, God bless. Cal's living large these days because we're so back. Um, so I got to talk to you about these young foreigners are coming into our country, right? They're lying about their paperwork. They're stealing money, hard earned money that should be going to nice young Christian young men in the Southeast. They're taking spots at our universities and they're completely taking over an entire industry. and it's all based on fraud. It's all based on deceit, and someone's got to put a stop to it. And someone has to start deporting these people. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Who needs to put a stop to it, or the group of people?
The group of people.
I don't know. What?
Australian punters.
Australian punters.
Pro Kick Australia. Somebody just did, some local news agency in Texas did like an investigative report into them. They're totally full of shit about everything they do. Almost, I shouldn't say almost all, but like this one random local news station in Texas did some digging. Turns out they found like 20 different punters that should have been ineligible to compete in the NCAA for a multitude of reasons. Chief among them being that they had already been active in a university and played sport at a university in Australia. And a lot of them are also academically ineligible. And it turns out they figured out in Australia, hey, you know what we can do is we can just make up our own academic records and send them to America because they don't care. They're never going to look and they don't know what they look like. So, like, literally every single college football program and a lot of NFL teams now have an Australian punter. Miami has had 2 in a row. I'm pretty sure LSU has one. Florida has
They
one.
have we
Florida
have
State
Brad
has
Brad
one.
Wing. Yeah, we had
Uh,
Brad Wing. I remember him.
I think Texas had one. Alabama. They're like the stuff they're coming over with is just total bullshit.
Is
It,
this like the same thing as like that little league kid who was like Cuban? Was he Cuban or
it
Dominican? And he ended up being like 19 years old.
being Almonte,
Yeah,
uh, it's somewhat like that. But I guess the gist of it is like this. Pro Kick Australia is like the company that like trains these people and like sets them all up. And they
yeah.
basically you pay Pro Kick Australia to train you, and then they get you into a college on a scholarship. So you pay them, and then they do whatever they need to do to get you into a college. Uh,
I mean,
so if you so they told a story about one person having like a 1.4 GPA in high school, and when like this again, it's like literally like an investigative reporter at a local news station. When they did some digging into it, they found 3 different high school transcripts and 3 different like college transcripts from the person that all said different things.
so which one was real?
I think it was the one that said he had a 1.4 GPA. And
I don't
I
know if
guess
I care.
there
I don't know if
was
I care.
they're stealing jobs from think about all the young Christian men in the Southeastern Conference in football that would be getting these jobs punting.
Yeah, I don't
They're,
care.
they're stealing jobs in NIL money, and then they're sending that NIL money home.
Yeah,
Uh,
back to that
it,
terrorist country of Australia.
so there's they're literally all criminals there. Read some history books for God's sake.
That's very
Uh,
true.
so one football coach who was like interviewed for this, he said he recruited somebody and talked to him and was like talked to him and realized that he had already played sports in like Australian university, and they were like, all right, well, like you can't come play then. So he stopped, and then he said like 6 months down the line, he saw like Pro Kick Australia was saying that this guy had all his eligibility and would be considered a freshman coming in, and these other teams were recruiting him, and he was like, "Have you looked into this? Because like I talked to him like 6 months ago, and he told me that he he had no eligibility left." And I guess another guy got on campus at a school and was talking to like their academic advisors, and they were telling him to take these classes, and he was like, "I've already taken all these. Like I've done college before," and they were like, "What?"
Well, I mean, does it really matter? Like, does like I don't know. I feel like if you go different country, like that should just reset. Yeah, you should just get
It
like
just
sure you
resets.
played in Australia, but like you never played in America.
I do think it's very funny that they just realized like these people they need a document, and
Yes.
there's no one cares if it's real or not.
Who would have thought that most of the undocumented immigrants are in the Southeastern Conference?
But that's the other thing. It also, if they lied about like their eligibility and like their status in school with their student
Yeah.
visas, that is a crime.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be top priority for our new
I
DOJ.
know. So it's. I think because of this, I don't think I'm watching college football anymore.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a bit. This is definitely a bit.
No, I'm done.
All right. We signing off.
Yeah,
I don't even know like when we'll see. I don't know. We'll figure this out.
yeah.
Um,
It's a dead time.
well, I mean, it's still fun to do this.
No, it is fun to do it,
And
but sports are a dead time. It's next thing we got is March Madness.
all right, well, I mean, we did like a whole like politics rant, so I guess
Yeah,
people
we'll
are
just keep
gonna
going.
love this or hate it. I mean, we're fucking like we're not really trying to target a certain audience. We're just kind of just talking. Um, so hey, yeah. So I did video this. So we do have some stuff up on YouTube. Sans video, but maybe at some point I'm gonna edit this. Maybe make some clips. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm feeling pretty ambitious, but this is also the first time I'm recorded in like 6 weeks. First time
Yeah,
recording in 2025. It's a new year.
yeah. New year,
Hey
new
guys,
year, new
welcome,
me.
welcome to a new year.
No more
Happy New Year.
content for me.
Yeah, is that was that your New Year's resolution?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to know the
Uh,
big thing that really turned me off? Of just like I don't want to see anymore. The
yeah.
fucking Orlando Magic fans on Twitter at the trade deadline they're insufferable. I'm done with it.
What were they? What were they trying to do? What were they saying?
Yeah, people are canceling their season tickets because we didn't trade for Cam Johnson or Colin Sexton.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Peace.
Peace. One love.
Peace. See you in the next one. Peace.
I'm getting there when you masturbate, think about my tongue. Oh, your clit and switching back and forth. Switching back and forth from my dick to my tongue. Dick to my tongue. Dick to my tongue. Dick to my tongue. Switching